have to pick sides.
Deborah is an active member in my relationship with my husband. It feels like a three-way marriage because they own the home that we live in, the vehicles, the insurance, his cell phone. My husband works for them.
So we're going to sub it out.
Yeah, please.
Mark is afraid to do things by himself, buying a vehicle.
Well, then you knew what you were getting into when you decided to marry this man. Like, let us not sit here and act like, oh my God, like, oh, whoa, newsflash, my husband's mother is completely involved in anything that we do because they own the house and the cars and everything else. And my husband doesn't feel like doing anything, but I'm really shocked about this right now. Huh?
Vehicle, getting a house, paying bills.
She's jealous of my sons and my relationship. It's never going to change.
There's a lot of responsibility being my mother's rock.
I think that Mark's like a puppet on his mother's strings. If Mark broke the hold that his mother has on him, it would crush her.
Rita is biting the hand that feeds her. I've forked out thousands of dollars to just make their life easier.
I can't continue to live life like this anymore.
I want to shake him sometimes and say, be a man. Stand up to her. Mark has to cut the cord with his mother because if something doesn't change, it is going to be the end of our marriage.
Well, the tension between these two women, it's just reached a breaking point. Take a look.
I mean, but Dr. Phil, so the whole thing, like I said, she knew what she was getting into. But the mom has no problem saying, I'm the reason. You know, you heard her. She said, I've spent thousands on this. I just want to make their lives easy. And it comes with a price for the mother. This is quite the situation.
My wife and mother hate each other's guts and have a lot of resentment towards each other. My mother said, I hate your wife.
I know my mother-in-law hates me. She says it frequently.
This is a portfolio of my son and Rita's wedding. I replaced pictures and I took her out.
The whole family hates me.
My mother has said Rita is a downgrade.
Mark usually went for smart, witty, very attractive girls.
Anybody who knows Mark has heard about his modeling career.
I just always envisioned him with a supermodel.
Rita and I come from different sides of the tracks.
He flashed around money a lot.
Rita saw a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow with Mark.
She doesn't like that I came from a poor family.
Rita has learned how to be more of a lady, but her background...
Okay, so there's that. And I have to be careful because unfortunately with the music, I'm already getting copyright and I'd love to keep, I'd absolutely love to keep covering these Dr. Phil clips. By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Really appreciate everybody who's watching. I'd love to keep covering this, but they're like, oh, it's copywriting. But that's why she married him. All right, so you saw that he came from a family with money that could take care of things, right? But so don't be mad when he can't cut the cord.
Okay, well, I'm here with Rita and Mark and Deb, and we have to, when there's three people, you have to have two on one side and one on the other, but I'm not sure who ought to be sitting where here. Who's the couple here?
My wife and I.
Yeah, I got you. You filled out the paperwork, but where's the closest relationship and connection here?
My wife and I have a really close relationship, but I have a special bond with my mother. And that makes it really hard for me.
Do you think that this is a good relationship?
No.
And you want her gone?
Yes.
And look, we just have to be honest here, because...
And shout out to her and her honesty. I mean, really, and I'm going to have to keep cutting in, guys, because of the copyright issue. Shout out to her and her honesty because, she just came out and said it. He was like, do you think that this is a good relationship? Do you want her gone? She said, yes. This mother is going to sabotage everything that they have going on just to make sure that she is gone. Wow.
Look, one of the things I do, one of the things that's kind of been my defined trademark way of doing things is I just cut to the chase scene. And I can only do that if people are honest. So when I asked you that, you kind of waffled, but then you gave me an honest answer, which thank you for. You want her gone, right? You want him to get rid of her, be done with her.
Yeah.
You want him to divorce her.
Yes.
You hate her?
It did not start out as hate, but there's some real deep emotions, real deep cuts, and that's caused me to hate her.
Deborah would just come over unannounced.
That is deep. That is really deep. Wow. That's pretty deep. She just really, I'm sorry, I'm pausing like, wow. She just really said, like, I hate her. And she must also really hate the grandchild, though, because, unless it's, why would you want a broken home for your grandchild?
They're coming over unannounced every day.
I would like a little bit of notice. I think that's common courtesy.
And I've been giving that since I found out that, our family dynamics, we've always been so close that the girls would want me there. I assumed I was welcome in their home. And obviously I'm not welcome, and she's mincing words and saying that I make statements about it being filthy.
Well,
I have never flat out said this is filthy, but if I'm over there and she's fed me dinner, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to help do the dishes.
You say this about your daughter-in-law, and you say, I just assume
Those words are
I
not,
would be welcome.
Those words were minced. I believe that a mother who has the privilege of staying home every day with their children shouldn't just constantly think that it's a sin for me to want to do extracurricular things.
But do you think, given what your involvement has been in referring to her as crazy and violent and trashy and hillbilly and losers, that she should open her home and say, oh, please come be among us. Please come be among us. I mean,
This stuff has only come out since the last couple of months. After the whole scene in the courtroom in January.
oh, I agree that I agree. But what I'm saying is, I'm wondering how you're missing the part about how that would not make somebody open their home to you every day. Because I got family, I get it. I mean, but my attitude has always been, you can call me a sumbitch, but you're going to do it long distance. Did you make?
I mean, and that's true. Like, what is it? I don't understand why this lady can't get that. You cannot expect this girl to want you in her house. You can't expect this girl to want you in her house if you're calling her names and stuff. The home is supposed to be her sanctuary. You decided to pay for it. So she's being taken care of too. Now, granted, I get it. It's like you're not doing anything all day, and, like, why not get these certain things done if everything's taken care of for you? Yeah. But you also decided to be a part of that contract that takes care of everything for them. Right? So what is the issue? Like, what really is the issue is, and I don't know where the husband is. I would imagine that, God forbid, but he's not around. She doesn't have anything else to do, nothing to occupy her. So that's why she keeps going over there and acting like if I don't come here, things aren't going to get done or whatever. But it's not your place really to do that. It really just isn't, no matter what. Yeah, you pay for everything, but then again, they've accepted the payments. So this one's a tough one. What do you guys think?
Old high school sweetheart, and here's what it said. X's name is in town. I know how to contact her. You should be with her. You need to call her.
I'm completely in the dark about this. I don't
didn't send that text?
No, I've never sent that text. Didn't know that text existed.
Did you get that text?
I did get a text, but like I said, I don't recall it as well as Rita does.
Let me just
That's
say,
going to be seared into a wife's brain. Seriously, I'm serious. That's going to be seared in. What do you want to say about that? But before you answer this question and then I'll let you say what you want to say.
Okay.
If we're being completely honest, you would like him to hook up with, like, his ex. You did say you settled for less. You do want him out of this. I mean, you can quibble about whether the text message said what it said, but the truth is all of these things that you think she is beneath him, you thought he was going to be with a supermodel, you think he settled for less, he could get a nice Christian. And here's what it said.
I've never sent it
into a wife's brain. We're being completely like his ex. You did say you settled for less. You do want him out of this. The text message said what it said, but the truth is all of these things that you think she is beneath him, you thought he was going to be with a supermodel, you think he settled for less, he could get a nice Christian girl, he could this, he could that. The truth is you would love nothing better than for her to go away and him to marry somebody befitting of his value.
That's not true. Okay. My daughter was killed in a very tragic car accident almost 4 years ago. Up until that point, this family, we played together. They were in our home having dinner. I have never, ever felt uncomfortable in her home until recently. When she started showing physical violence and really traumatizing those beautiful little innocent children, and then making stabs that I'm responsible for killing Rachel, and then betraying a huge confidence to try and be spiteful and vindictive and destroy my 32-year relationship with my husband. And the way I look at it, what was meant for evil was turned around for good, because my husband and I are still together, and we are all grieving. We are all still trying to heal. And I have never, ever had any person in my entire life treat me with such disrespect and unappreciation, and she feels like everything's ulterior. And you know what? If I cut that cord, they don't have a home. He doesn't have health insurance. He doesn't have a cell phone. Thousands of dollars. It's just money. I don't care. I just want my son to be happy and to not call me in the middle of the night and say, "I'm miserable, Mom. I'm miserable."
She needs to leave them alone. She can still pay the bills if she wants. She could leave them alone, and just it'll work out how it needs to work out. I mean, because she doesn't need to take so there is a husband there. So what is all this extra time? She needs to go off and leave them alone. I don't know how the girl's with him anyway, but she likes the easy route, and that's just really what it is at the end of the day.
No, it's a poke in the cheek is different from a slap.
I don't know exactly what happened. We're getting this from
Now
a
your granddaughter's the
5-year-old.
liar.
Can you let me speak for a second? I don't respect the sense of bringing this violence towards my children. This is what I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop what I believe is a generational curse in my family, the fighting, the constant bickering. You know, I'm kind of doing the same things that my parents do in their marriage, you know, the fighting and the problems that they've had in their marriage. I see that happening in my marriage, and I want this to stop. I want this to stop. I want to go to, I want it to be over with.
A mother's love, a father's love, family unity, all of those things are good to a degree. But there's a point at which they become dysfunctional for everybody involved.
My family is way dysfunctional.
For everybody involved. And for you, you have to look at where the children in your family are, and at some point you've got to ask yourself, what do I need to do differently that would bring about a different outcome for all of these children?
I want peace.
It's not just about what you want. And I think that you need to be willing to make some changes. You have a son here that has made some bad choices in his life, true?
Absolutely, yes. We all do.
And he's now saying, I really want to make some right choices. And you need to give him room. You need to give him space. And you too can't give her that message and then invite her back in when it's convenient for you and not when it isn't. Do you have a story?
And that's so true. And I mean, that's it at the end of the day. Mind you, this girl didn't get a chance to say much of anything, it seems like, in the clip. And this is like the perfect stop for her. I mean, that's really what it is at the end of the day. Look, and if she wants to keep paying the bills, fine. Let her until you guys get on your feet. But y'all, she needs to not come over. I don't know. Like, that's on her. She wants to pay the bills. That's on her. But you know, that part of the contract isn't in there, right? But then they keep inviting her in. So this is really a serious case of an overbearing mother, but with a son that is extra coddled, just pandered and tired and probably lazy, you know. And it's all this. He was supposed to be a supermodel. You could tell he gained weight. Like he probably already was losing it, you know. I don't know. But these kind of situations, somebody has to be assertive in a situation. It looks to me like it's her. And maybe she gets over assertive. Maybe she gets over angry. And that's not her fault. But I'll tell you, this couldn't have kept on going. Wow.